The Denver Broncos appear to have bounced off the bottom, as GM John Elway said during his end-of-season presser back on December 30th. Thanks to the arrival of head coach Vic Fangio and the revelation that was sensational rookie quarterback Drew Lock, the Broncos won 4 of their last 5 games of the 2019 season, and it feels like the worst is behind the Broncos and that this team is headed in the right direction. No longer are the Broncos wandering the QB desert. The free agents Elway paid last spring, outside of Kareem Jackson for 3 games, had little to no impact on the team's 4-1 finish. 1 year wiser and twice shy, Elway will enter the 2020 offseason armed to the teeth with available cash and cap space. As it stands now, according to Over the Cap, the Broncos have $62 million in cap space. That's a huge number, especially when you consider the hay Elway made back in 2014 with less than half of that cap space. If Elway could wheel and deal and get DeMarcus Ware, TJ Ward, Aqib Talib, and Emmanuel Sanders to sign with the Broncos, all of whom would go on to earn at least 1 Pro Bowl nod in the orange and blue and contribute to the team's Super Bowl 50 championship, imagine what he could do with $62 million. But wait, there's more. That $62 million currently ranks the Broncos with the 7th most cap space entering the new league year. With 2 simple no-brainer roster moves, Elway could free up another $18.5 million, giving the Broncos north of $80 million in cap space. Joe Flacco doesn't fit into this team's short-term plans and comes with a $23.65 million cap charge for 2020. Barring a trade, the Broncos are expected to release Flacco, which would free up another $10.05 million in cap space, though it would also come with a $13.6 million dead cap charge, thanks to the restructure the team did with Flacco's contract on the doorstep of last season. $13.6 million is a big number, but the Broncos will happily live with it because they've found their quarterback and he's not named Flacco. The other move the Broncos are likely to make, which would free up nearly $8.5 million in cap space, applies to Ronald Leary. 2020 is the last year on Leary's contract and it comes with a team option. If the Broncos don't pick up the option, he's gone, and the team would create almost $8.5 million in cap space. Leary is a solid right guard, but he's not worth that money, even perfectly healthy. But perfectly healthy, Leary has never been since arriving in Denver with a 4-year, $36 million deal back in 2017. In each of the 3 seasons he's been a Bronco, Leary has missed at least 4 games due to injury, 5 in 2017, 10 games in 2018, and 4 in 2019. It's time to part ways with Leary, and the Broncos don't necessarily need to spend big money on the free agent market to replace him or use a premium draft pick. Elijah Wilkinson is waiting in the wings, and while he was a subpar right tackle, he's a more than capable right guard playing in a phone booth inside. All in, the Broncos can free up just shy of $18.5 million in cap space by cutting bait with Flacco and Leary. Adding that $18.5 million to the running total, the Broncos would end up with $80.5 million to spend, which would rank them the 4th most in cap space in the NFL behind only Miami, Indianapolis, and Buffalo. What that means is that Elway is going to be a major player in the free agent market this year. Agents around the NFL are going to be ranking Denver high as a possible suitor and landing spot for their respective clients. In no way would having $80.5 million in cap space mean that Elway would have to spend or allocate every nickel of it, but if the mandate is building the nest around Locke and capitalizing on having a cost-controlled quarterback for the next 3 seasons, it couldn't set up any better for the Broncos. The fly in the ointment here is the exodus of homegrown free agents the Broncos are facing. But even if Elway ends up using half of that cap space, say, to get the likes of Justin Simmons, Derek Wolfe, Shelby Harris, Chris Harris Jr., and possibly Connor McGovern re-signed, the Broncos would still have more available cap space to spend than they did entering the 2014 free agency market. Throw in a creative cap wizard and the options could be endless for Denver. The Broncos have already been tied to multiple outside free agents in the rumor mill. The good news is, fans won't have to wait much longer to see how Elway goes about finishing his mini rebuild of the Broncos. The NFL's legal tampering window opens up on March 16th, with free agency officially kicking off 2 days later on March 18th. As they say in NASCAR, drivers, start your engines. For Mile High Huddle and Sports Illustrated, I'm Chad Jensen.